right, good morning, everyone. Welcome into December as we're going into the last month of the year and we're getting ready to move into 2025. I know many people are looking forward to the move into a new year. A lot of times this time of year, people are looking back on the previous year and they're thinking about where their year with in the beginning, where they wanted it to be and where they thought it would go. And then they start reflecting on where they're at now. And in some instances, those folks are not where they wanted to be. So the natural tendency is to then move into the next year or of the thoughts and the beliefs and the hopes and dreams and the goals that we have for an upcoming year. But what I'm going to share with you today is really understanding the biggest secret to achieving the success and to achieving your goals. And this is not from year to year. This could literally be from month to month. But there has to be a depth. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that here in just a minute. But one of the things that I've always asked people is, what are you letting go of? What part of you is dying now to allow new space, new room for this person that you want to be in the future? So when I say that there has to be a death, I'm talking about there has to be a death of the old you. There has to be some letting go of who you currently are. And what I mean by that is when you think from a standpoint of when you're looking to achieve certain goals, you have to become the person that can be able to attain those goals. And I'm gonna share with you kind of three really compelling reasons of why you need to be able to shed or let go of the old you to make room for this new person that you want to become. So I wanted to think about your 2024, and if you can go back to the beginning of the year and think to yourself of what were your hopes and dreams and goals for 2024? Did you attain them? Did you get close to them? Um, did you give up on them? And what was the reasons for that? And a lot of times you have to understand that your old self, the person that you are today, was built for the challenges that were created yesterday. So again, you had these challenges that came up and your old self was able to deal with those things. But your old self is not going to be able to, sorry, my dogs are excited about shedding their old selves. Just one second here. But you have to understand that the person that you are today is going to have to become a new person to open up doors for what you're going to in 2025. The version of that you exist today, the habits, the decisions, all those things that you made, the behavior that you had were conformed to survive and make it through your current challenges. But now you're creating new goals and new challenges for yourself going into 2025. So that is going to require a new person, a new you, in essence, a transformation. And through that transformation, a lot of times, this is where we have to self-reflect, especially if you were not in a place where you achieved your goals for 2025, if you didn't do the things that you wanted to do for yourself going into 2025, or excuse me, yeah, going into, ending this year, you didn't achieve your 2024 goals. There has to be some self-reflection of why is that? And in many cases, what it's going to call for is sacrifice, because when we're talking about making changes, that means that, and you're shedding certain things. Some of the things that you may shed may be the comforts of life. Maybe, again, there's, certain TV shows that you watch religiously all the time. There's certain hobbies. Maybe you're a golfer and you golf 3 or 4 times a week. Well, guess what? If you have these big goals, massive goals that you're trying to achieve, but yet you have the comforts of life and different things that you're doing that are taking time away from you to be able to focus on those things. You may have to sacrifice being able to golf 4 times or 3 times a week, and maybe golf once a week. It doesn't mean that you have to totally give it up, but you're gonna have to make some changes in regards to those things. If you have certain TV shows or certain things that you do um, every week that take up time, you can still do those things, but maybe condense the time. So now that you're placing that time more into the focus of the goals that you're trying to achieve. And if you stay consistent with that over, an extended period of time, you're going to see a change in the results that you have, because why you changed a behavior of what you were doing to do something that uh, provides more focus on the things that you're trying to achieve. And see, those things that we focus on, they grow. So you want to be able to be able to make that pivot for yourself, and just that one thing. I can tell you, we all have, say, New Year's resolutions. I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I'm a bigger fan of goals, because New Year's resolutions, I always say, and you've heard me say it before, they're like rules. They're made to be broken. And typically they are by the 6th week of the new year. And so what you're going to find, and a big reason for that is because the biggest resolution should have been at the very beginning of who is the person that I am going to take into 2025. What is it that I am currently doing that I am going to shed from 2024 and not take it into 2025. And when you do those things first, that makes it easier to attain goals. That makes it easier to keep your promise of resolutions that you made for yourself. So it's going to be on the front end, creating that sacrifice for yourself. And then another part is letting go to create space for the new. This is if you think from a standpoint, if you have a full cup, there's no more room to pour additional coffee or water or whatever is in the cup. But if you make space in the cup, if whether you consume what's in the cup, whether you pour out what's in the cup, you now have space for new coffee, new water, whatever it is. And it's the same thing in your life. If you have a full plate going into 2025, and it's a plate, or everything that you're doing is something that is not beneficial for you, you have to remove some of those items. You have to take away some of the things that are prohibiting you from being able to really go after those goals that you set for yourself in 2025. And it leads me back to a story, and it's kind of my story of how I got into entrepreneurship. For 20, I think I'm in my 28th year of entrepreneurship, and probably about I would say 16, 17 of those years, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out as an entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is I spent, those times I spent 26 years in law enforcement. So I had many years of where I was an entrepreneur slash police officer at the same time. And so my plate was very full, because my job as a police officer required a lot of my time. And I was doing the entrepreneurial endeavors on the side. So it was very limited time. So what did I have? Very limited growth in those areas, very limited results of success in those areas, because of the fact that I had so many things that I was responsible for, because I also had a family, and I, worked 65 hours a week as a police officer. And so it left very little time to be able to focus on entrepreneurship. Now, I would see just enough success to know, okay, this works, and make additional income. But there was this thing inside of me. There was 2 things happening. There was like on this shoulder, there was a voice telling me, hey, you got to let go of this job as a police officer, because it's holding you back from really being able to to maximize your growth and your success. And then on this shoulder, there was another voice saying, you know what, but as a police officer, you have a guaranteed paycheck. You had income coming in every 2 weeks that you don't have to worry about. This job, you're locked into it, and it's a great safety net for having this business. There's no guarantees if you go become an entrepreneur and you're in business for yourself. Everything is on you. So I had these two voices that I'm battling with, inside of me. And for many years, the voice over here was the one that I listened to, because I always looked at, guaranteed paycheck. I got a safety net, and I don't have any fears. But in the internal battle inside, is the thing that finally got to me, of the what if. Because see, I was thinking to myself, what if I continue to go on through life like this and I never really realize my dreams? And why is it that I think I have all this time in the world? Why is it that I think that I can wait till I'm 65 and I retire, that I can then start a new career? There's no guarantees that I will hit 65. So there was this part of me that started to think, okay, you are not living to your greatest heights. You're not living to the standards that, have been blessed upon you. And so that voice became bigger. And at a certain point, the fear and doubt that was over here, that I had to mute it. I had to stop listening to that noise and understand that there was something greater. And in 2013, I was able to position myself to be able to walk away from a six-figure income as a police officer at 45 years of age. And I had the ability to draw my retirement at 55, but I couldn't get it for 10 years. And even though now that I'm 56, I don't even draw that retirement, because of making that decision has put me in a much greater place than where I was at the age of 45. But it was one of those things of, again, having the internal battle and then having the courage to know and the faith to believe that I was going to be able to be successful in whatever it is that I do. And I stepped out on faith, walked away from that six-figure income, and really never looked back after that. And it created, and I'll tell you, there were challenges. There were some really great years. There was one particular really bad year. And I only allowed myself to have that one because I took it as a learning lesson. And it was in that year that many people said, man, you should go back to the police department. You don't have to struggle like this. It doesn't have to be this hard. And I could not see myself doing that, because that would have been taking multiple steps back instead of facing the challenges that were in front of me. Because see, now this new me was not a person that could work paycheck to paycheck. The new me was not someone that could have a ceiling on their income based off of what someone else says I'm worth. And they say, this $45 or $50 an hour, that's all we see you as being worth. No, I wanted to take off the ceiling and be able to create whatever amount of income that I was looking for myself. And so by being able to step away from what I was doing, where I was comfortable at, get a little uncomfortable, have it be a scary situation, but then persevere through it and become someone that I always dreamed of being for myself. So I want you to think about this from a standpoint of a snake. I'm not a fan of snakes, but I think from this story standpoint, this is a very powerful story. If you understand that snakes every year, they shed their skin. And they do this, knowing that their skin, the skin that they have on them, is a protection for them. It protects them from the inclement weather. It protects them from, other predators that may come after them. But they have to shed their skin every year. Why is that? Because they cannot grow if they don't shed their skin. So it's the same thing for us. We have to have that type of mindset that we believe that in order to get to the next levels in life, in order to be able to attain the hopes, the goals, the dreams that we have for ourselves, we have to be able to shed the old person that we are now. Because see, the person you are today has got you to the point that you are in life right now. But that person cannot get you to where you're going to in the future. You are going to have to be transformative in your thoughts, transformative in your behavior, and transformative in your beliefs to be able to move forward from where you're currently at. So just like the snake, you have to understand it has to become a part of life. I'm shedding my skin. I'm shedding those things that have kept me from attaining the bigger goals that I have coming up in 2025, and shedding it from, going into 2024. And when you have that thought and that belief for yourself of what the next steps in life are going to look like for you, it becomes much easier to understand, where you're going and what it is that you're trying to achieve for yourself. So with that, I want you to think about, and if you're writing them down or if you're just giving some thought to this now, of what are the sacrifices that you need to make? I would start writing those things down for yourself. And if you start thinking about, what are your goals? What is it that you're going to have to change currently about what it is that you're doing right now that's going to help you to achieve those goals? And like I said, they may be things that are uncomfortable. They may be things that you don't necessarily, they may be fearful. They things that you don't necessarily want to have to face. But through that, you're going to find that taking those steps will take you into a better direction of life. So that's why I think, it's so easy to write these goals down, and we're told to write the goals down, read them every day, have them in a place where you can see them on a daily basis. And all of those things I agree with. All of those things are, the steps that you should be taking. But if you're not doing this first part, this is the biggest step that is always missed. And it's working on you first in regards to the person that is who is the person that is going to achieve those goals? Is it the person that I've been for me for the last 56 years? Or is it the person that I'm going to be going into my 57th year of life and taking the experiences that I've had in 56 years, taking the setbacks and taking the wins, taking all those different things and figuring out what is it that I can take with me? What are the tools that I can take with me that are going to be beneficial? And what are the things that are holding me down that I need to leave behind so that I can run faster or so that I can go further because I've shed myself of these different items. And so I would definitely say, and we have a full month before we go into the new year. Many people right now, you're starting to create your list of resolutions or goals or however you want to look at it. But once again, you have that list, but I want you to also create this list of taking inventory on yourself and figuring those things out that you need to let go of, and those things that you need to take with you that are necessary, the necessary tools that you need to take with you going into the new year. This is, I mean, this kind of really hits home for me right now because we have a big move coming up in 2025 where we're moving to San Diego. And right now, I could tell you, my wife is, we have a 3,000 square foot townhome. And right now she's wanting to shed the things that we're not taking. She's like, why are we holding on to this stuff? Let's call 1-800-JUMP so they can come pick up these items and take these items away because we're not taking them with us anyway. And, and I'm tired of looking at it. Let's get rid of it. Let's discard it. And so you have to, once again, take that same type of mindset and the things right now that you're currently doing. What is it that is keeping you in the place that you're in and not allowing you to go further? So, start putting thought around that. And then really just I want to just kind of leave you with a call to action, for yourself. Um, and just ask yourself, number one, who you are today is the person that you're not going to be that person tomorrow. You can't be that person tomorrow. So as you start making this list of letting go and being able to say, these are the things that, have to be discarded. There has been, I've seen, on YouTube and different personal development speakers have talked about doing this for yourself. You create that list of all these things that you're going to let go of. And then whether you just use a match, whether you put it in, the fire pit, the fireplace, whatever the case may be, you burn those things. And in that moment, it's almost ceremonial. It's to a certain degree. And maybe you do this towards the end of the month when you've given reflection, you've given time, because it's one thing just to write them down, but you also have to have a plan of how you're going to make sure that those things don't creep back into your life when you're in the middle of 2025. How are you going to make sure that you truly, once you burn them, that they're not coming back, because there's no use for them for the places that you're going. So again, it's something that you can certainly look at, create the list, put serious, real thought behind how you plan to be able to make sure that you're going to do those things or release those things and not allow them back into your life. And then the final piece is really just having that ceremonial burning, so to speak, of letting it go and saying, this is the new me that I'm taking into 2025. And I think for many of us, we're in an industry right now where, number one, we have had to evolve because the industry is changing. And, I often say, I have a quote on one of my presentations that I do that I say that if we don't evolve, we cease to exist. And that's how we had the extinction of dinosaurs and cavemen and things of that nature, is because of the lack of evolution to our surroundings. But we're in a state right now where things are changing in our industry and in our worlds on a daily basis. And we're having to evolve, we're having to adjust to those things. But what I want you to think about, what I want you to look at for yourself and for your life is being the change. Don't adjust to the change, the outside changes that are happening. Create your own change. And how do you do that? You create that by casting vision, having a vision of the things that you want for yourself and what you want your life to appear as, to look like, and putting those goals in place once you have that vision. And then once again, coming back to this ultimate piece of shedding the old you, because that's a part of the evolution, letting go of the old you to make space and make way for the new you that you want to be able to become. So with that, that's really what I wanted to be able to share with you today. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Would love to know if anyone here, if you've been working on your 2025 goals, this direction that you're looking to go, changes that you're looking to make. And if if anyone has any questions in regards to anything that I'm sharing, would love to answer that anywhere. Also, anyone want to share, what you have on the horizon for yourself in 2025? Anyone? Oh, all right. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, no, I know what it's like to lead, and then you ask a question in silence. So I'm just kind of thinking through processing my answer. So I'll share this with the group. My son is in high school. This is his first year of high school. He's on the basketball team this year, And one of the things we were talking about after I've observed him in some of his games is I said, his name's Gabe. I said, Gabe, what letter grade would you give to your performance in your game? And I don't want to hear what you think about your performance. I want the letter grade to be on your level of effort, the what you're putting into the effort level that you're putting into it, because that's the part that we can control. We can't always control the outcome of the game, but we can certainly control how much effort and intensity we bring to our participation in the game. And he was saying, he was giving me answers, everything from C plus to B minus. And so my question to him was, well, if that's the case, what's holding you back from giving an A effort every single game, every single practice? When you lace it up and you go on that court. And so I get so fired up in trying to coach him and encourage him and challenge him and inspire him and that type of thing. And so what happened was, after I'm having this talk with him, I kind of go back to, well, wait a minute. Let me turn the mirror to, let me look in the mirror instead of through the window or just viewing him. I said, wait a minute, let me kind of do some self-analysis. Well, Matthew, what type of effort are you putting into, you talk about changes in the industry you just brought up, and a lot of thoughts could go down that rabbit hole of things that we've seen, the changes in our industry and what's all going on and what's going on in real estate this year and what we're facing right now. But, that's all the outcome. A lot of times we can't control the outcome. What letter grade would I give to the intensity and the effort and what I'm bringing to the table each and every day? And if I'm being honest with myself, it's not an A effort. And it was similar to what he was describing as to what he was bringing to the basketball game. So, as far as shedding the skin, leaving the old stuff in the past, what changes to make for the new year, let's let the outcome and the results work themselves out. Let's focus on our daily routine and our efforts. And at the end of the day, say, did I truly give it an A effort today?
Yeah.
In moving the needle in my business? And so that's where I'm at about it.
Yeah, I love that, Matthew. And I think you're absolutely right, because same thing, without us even having a conversation and knowing one another, I have been doing that same thing, that self-analysis. And it's something you can do for yourself on a daily basis. And when you're honest, I think, again, when you are honest with yourself, did I bring everything to the table that I could today to be able to be my best self? I can tell you, for me, I can always think of some areas that I could be better. And I think as humans, we are probably more critical of ourselves than we are of others. And I think we can use that, to our benefit, because again, when we're being critical, one of the things I have learned to do for myself is I always find out, what did I do good today? Okay, what is it that I could have done better? And what is it that I'm going to get better at going into tomorrow? So yeah, I'm right with you, Matthew. I think that's a great point, and I think it's a great piece to use on a daily assessment of yourself as you're moving through your goals in 2025 as we get into that new year. All right, thank you for sharing that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the message this morning. It was good.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? I think we're probably right about at our time, but just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anyone. If anyone had anything else to share. All right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure being here with you today. Definitely looking forward to, like I said, going into the new year, but I'm also focused on, I got, 29, 30 days right now that I still can get some things done. So I'm really excited. I actually just put one under contract yesterday, getting another one under contract today. And this is, once again, this is one of those things. I'll leave you with this, is when we're starting to go into focusing on the new goals, we can't forget about the ones that we set for this year, because we still got 29 days to work with. And even if you've attained the goals that you had planned for 2024, how far past them can you push so that you can just make the goal even higher for 2025? So I would just leave you with this of, don't run to the finish line, run through the finish line. And that way, with this, the industry that we're in, if you are building and growing and running in December, it's going to help you have a great January and a great February, because the work that you put in today is going to be reflected and pay out for you in the first part of the year. And that's why, again, the fourth quarter is always my favorite quarter, because I see a lot of people slow down and I'm always looking for places to speed up. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being with me today. You have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Barry.
All right. Take care, Jess.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.